I'm trying to figure out how to navigate a job that I really hate while trying to find other opportunities and support my family.
Can I just take a second just to shout you out? There's millions of men who just go home and they sit on their couch and they play video games. I'm proud to be talking to you.
I'm trying to figure out how to navigate a job that I really hate while trying to find other opportunities and support my family. So,
tell me about it, man.
So to give a little backstory on that, like towards the end of last year, I had a job I really loved. I was doing work that I enjoyed in engineering, and the company had a downturn. A lot of people were laid off, and then also I was envisioning that soon. Most of the company was laid off, and I was at the point where I would be laid off soon, or expecting to be laid off any day now. So going to work, I was expecting to be out. So I was scrambling, trying to find a job, interviewing at places. I never really got an offer until this one company that I knew. Kind of after the interview, I really wasn't thrilled with. The commute wasn't very good, and so without anything else, I ended up having to take that job. And once I got here, I've realized I have no passion to do the job. I don't want to really be there. I'm not really liking any of the people I work with, and it's just, and the commute sucks, and it's just, at this point, it's kind of dragging my life down to the point where I'm not wanting to do things and stuff, and it's just really, I would want to quit the job, but obviously you're always told never to quit a job unless you got another one lined up. So right. That's where I'm at.
The way you made me smile, the way you said it, you were like, and then this, and I just thought, like, my pets' heads are falling off. Like, it was like all the commute and the people and the everything. Can I just take a second just to shout you out?
Yeah.
Jimmy from Philadelphia, just like fist in my chest. I'm proud to be talking to you.
Thank you.
There's millions of men who just go home. And they sit on their couch and they play video games, and I take their calls of their exhausted, frustrated wives. And there's also millions of men out there working jobs that they hate because they have integrity, and they're putting food on the table, and they're taking care of their kids, and they're taking care of their families. And you're one of those men, and I just want to shout you out.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean that's the way I feel often. It's like, or at least right now, that's all I'm doing is just trying to take care of my family. And
how old are your kids, man?
I've got a daughter who's 11 and a son who's 8. So,
how long have y'all been where you are?
So we just recently moved to a new house in a couple of years, about 3 years back. So we're in a new place, and we kind of took on a bigger mortgage and stuff like that. So it's a lot of kind of weight carrying on my shoulders to make sure that we can stay there and my kids are able to grow up in a nice area. So,
home safety is important, right? Neighborhood safety is important. So I don't want to undermine that. But besides basic safety and besides like a good community, one of the greatest gifts dads can give their kids is stability. Mm-hmm. Or the other way I would say that is not stability and we never move, and not stability is in they don't ever know that there's challenges, but stability as in there's not an inferno raging inside my chest at all times. Right?
Okay.
My daughter was making fun of me last night. She was like, "Why are you so stern when you get home?" And I'm like, "I'm not stern." And she goes, "You're fake." And she rattled off, and my wife started dying laughing. She's like, "She's totally right." And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yes." And bro, I'm running a scam here. I'm a YouTuber, for God's sakes, man. So I have no reason to be stern when I get home.
Yeah.
So I guess there's two things here. Number one, you know this, I know this. I just want to say it. This is just a season, man.
Mm.
It's winter and it's cold. I promise you spring's coming.
Yeah,
You're a good man.
It's hard to look at it that way. I know I find myself negatively thinking about this. Like I've really screwed up my life at this point. I keep thinking I'm going to be stuck here,
So you know that, but I'll reiterate, it's not true.
Okay.
You're one of the good ones. Okay. And for all of human history, men went off to war, and they didn't go for 7-month deployments. They just went for years until the war was over or until they were dead.
Mm.
And so For some reason, we've got this weird illness in our culture called passion disease, where it's like, it's not my passion. Like, I don't care, man. Like, at some point, we have to take care of our families. And that's just the season you find yourself in.
Yeah.
So you have two choices, not two choices, two things that I think can really help here. Three things. Number one, keep applying.
Yeah, okay. I'm really doing that everywhere I can.
But I want you to bound it. Here's what I mean. If you're like me, and I've had a couple of jobs where I got to a point where I had to go. I knew I couldn't be there anymore. I applied for jobs in the morning. I was looking at the trades to try to find new places to go during lunchtime, at nighttime, when my kids were watching TV. I was sitting next to them scrolling. My wife would go to bed. I'd be up all night, and I would make myself insane.
Yeah, I feel you there because I'm similar. Yeah.
Okay, think of that like a pornography addict who keeps going to the next scene. Or think of that as somebody who's always looking for another hit. You're not actually looking for a job at that point. You've activated a fight or flight response, and your body's saying we have to do something right now.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Okay.
Here's how you bind it. Here's how you put a boundary on it. You say, I'm going to apply for 5 jobs a week. Period.
Okay.
And I'm not going to scroll through them like pornography. I'm going to find 5 jobs, and I may not apply for 5. I may apply for 3, but I'm going to have 2 cups of coffee, so I'm going to count that as my 5, or 10, or whatever your number is. Okay. And when that's over, your discipline is I'm going to close this laptop until the next Monday.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the second thing, and this is going to sound so woo-woo and cheesy, but I want you just to go with me on it. Okay. You're from the Northeast. I'm from Texas. You and I both don't have any room for woo-woo, but I want you to do this for me, okay? I want you to take a note card, like go to Walmart or Walgreens or 99 cents for like 150 of them or something. I want you to get a note card. And when you get to work and when you leave work for 30 days, 1 month from today, I want you to have written down 3 things that you've never noticed before.
I've never noticed before?
Yep.
Okay.
Not even a gratitude list. Just 3 things you've never noticed before. I've not noticed how many curly phone cords we have in this place. I have not noticed how stained up the carpet is. I've noticed how good it smells in here. And here's what that does. Like, so, and I'm going to give you like a really horrific analogy, but I'll bring it back. Whenever I would show up to a house and somebody had just walked inside and a loved one had passed away, or they had just experienced a shooting and there's like a real tragic, wild situation where their bodies are spinning out like mad, I would literally hold their hand, and grown men, anybody, hold their hand, and we would walk down the street and we would count cracks in the sidewalk, or we would count leaves on the curb. And all I was trying to do was get somebody from this state of, I won't go through the parasympathetic sympathetic, but get somebody from their body is taken over for them because they're dying, there's a threat, to, no, I'm here now, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Okay.
And what that does is it takes you from I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate it, and then you become somebody that you're not.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of, look how nasty that carpet is. And then you just kind of chuckle and go on about your job.
Okay, just observance of things I haven't noticed. Okay.
I just want you to write down those. And what it will do is it will increasingly make you more present, more mindful of the world that you exist in. And it's easier to exhale when you're on your own feet.
Okay.
Okay, here's the third thing. I want you and your wife to sit down and be honest about, we just moved to this new house and it was cool. One of the hardest conversations I've ever had with my wife, and I've had some doozies, was when after living in a home for maybe 6 months, I said, we've made a terrible mistake. We got to sell this house.
Okay.
And my wife sobbed. I was wrong. I should never have bought the house. I did. And it was a whole thing. And within 5 more months, we had put it on the market and we sold it. And looking back, that was the spark that changed our entire financial lives. It changed my mental and emotional life. It changed everything for us. But that was one of the hardest conversations of, we thought this was the next right step for successful people, and we bought into a lie. We got to sell this house. Okay. And so I want y'all to sit down and create, okay, forget the job, forget the home we just bought, forget the imaginary quote unquote good neighborhoods that you always told yourself you were going to give your kids because you didn't have that growing, all that. Forget all that.
Yeah.
Where do we want to live? What do we want to do? What do we want this house to feel like when I get home? And let's start working towards that. Because my fear is you're going to get a new job, and it's still not going to be the job that it would be the 2 jobs ago that you had that was a good job that then went under. And so you haven't grieved that one yet. And then you're going to be on to the next one. And then what you're going to find is every job you get, you go with you.
Yeah, that's my fear, is that this is going to be the next one. Same thing over and over again.
That's right. So find the life that you and your wife want to create. And maybe she's dying to tell you, yeah, dude, this is way too much mortgage. Like, it was cool. It's cool. We did it. But let's sell this house while the market's still, let's sell this house and it's still on the market, and let's move to a smaller place, or let's move to Kansas, or we've always wanted to go to Arizona. Let's just go to Arizona. Like, whatever it is y'all want to do, begin to have that conversation, and then the job will be in service to that life, not just the next thing. Because I want you to go to something, not from something.
Okay. That makes sense.
And by the way, if this job is killing you, if there's like unethical practices, if there is, they're demanding, like, if they're being abusive, bro, walk out the door.
Okay. It's not that bad yet, but it's not good, I would say. So.
Yeah. But if it's just annoying and that your coworkers are TPS report people, literally on my show team, one of the guys is the president of the chess club where we work. That's the truth. Another guy is like one of the leaders in the Dungeons and Dragons club. That's 100% true. And the producer of my show is 107 years old. Literally. Like, you don't always get to pick the people you play, dude. People I work with, they're amazing. They're awesome. But, like, if it's just annoying, then there comes a moment when you're like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm not going to give you all hate.
Just suck it up and
it's not even about that. It's not suck it up and hold it, right? Like, so even the idea of, like, I'm just going to suck this up. No, I'm not going to give you all that. Like Michael Singer calls it detachment. Jocko calls it good. Like whether you're a Navy SEAL or you're like an existentialist, like you're a mindfulness practitioner, the practice is, I'm not going to give you all my hate. Y'all aren't worth that.
Okay.
If you hurt my kid, I'll give you my hate, right? But if you're just an annoying place to work, but y'all are putting food on my table, I'm going to show up here, and what I will give you is my excellence and my dignity, because y'all don't get my character either.
Okay.
Like, the whole quiet quitting thing was not a middle finger to the bosses. It was a middle finger to the mirror. There's a bunch of people who cashed out their integrity.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm not gonna give you all that. And and the commute's awful. Commute sucks. All right, cool. I'm gonna listen to more books on marriage, or more books on architecture, or more, like, I'm gonna become a book listening guy.
Okay.
Right? Or I'm gonna call 5 of my old college roommates, one every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're just gonna talk on the way. Like, you get to pick. But if you can find play and find goofy and find absurdity in annoying moments, you win life.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
I know this is kind of a beating, dude, because it's kind of like, dude, my job's just awful. I get that, man. I don't want to paint it to a picture that it's not. But what the research says over and over and over again is those that find joy and happiness from the inside out, not the outside in, they win, man. They win. They just win. And that's what I want for you. Most of the people who go from job I hate to job I hate to job I hate really are running from themselves. That's not you, obviously, but man, I just want to applaud you again. You saw that your current job was a sinking ship. You jumped off the lifeboat. You got into the next safe boat. And man, I don't like this boat. It doesn't smell good in here. People are mean on this boat. But this boat is putting food on my family's table. And maybe this is a good moment for us to rethink how we're doing everything. But all of these things put you back in the driver's seat of your life instead of you feeling like you're being drug around by a job you hate. Get back in the driver's seat, brother.